Australia's new budget is very interesting when you look at it less as economics and more as human behavioural architecture. Because when you think about it, they're using numbers to shift human behaviour. So here's the leadership insights for you. Every budget is full of hidden assumptions on what will make people act. Make certain things easier and more people will want to do it. Make certain things harder and less people want to try it. Change the incentive and the behaviour shifts. So rather than looking at the budget as a series of economic policy numbers, I think it's more interesting to pick out the behavioural change aspects for leaders that are trying to drive change, innovation, growth, or even transformation inside their organisation. So here are the top 5 themes that I got out of this year's federal budget. Number 1, the budget is a behavioural design document. Budgets, like strategy, only become useful when it changes what people are more likely to do once they've heard the news. So that $1,000 instant deduction isn't just tax relief, it changes the behaviour around tax time by reducing the cognitive load of compliance. Essentially, if you want to get paid, you got to do the paperwork. Number 2, make the useful thing easier. Sometimes the most powerful reform is not making the reward bigger, it's making the desired behaviour easier. So the budget example here is the abolishing of the nuisance tariffs. Nuisance tariffs are a beautiful metaphor because they're small enough to tolerate but big enough to slow things down when you scale them up. And every single organisation has some version of nuisance tariffs inside. They could be meetings, legacy procedures, sign-offs, kick-offs, whatever. There's all sorts of friction inside an organisation that really needs to be checked in order to move things faster. So the key takeaway is, if it's useful to the core of the business, make it easier. Number 3, change the question, change the behaviour. A policy changes behaviour when it changes the question people are unconsciously answering. So the example here from the budget is the negative gearing and the capital gains tax. So the old question was, how do we help investors build wealth? And of course the new question is, how do we reward investment that adds supply? You know, that's a powerful leadership lesson right there. If the system is producing the wrong behaviours, don't just blame the people for doing what they can do. Look at the question that the system is rewarding. Change the question, change the behaviour. Number 4, fund the preconditions, not just the promise. The visible action is often less important than the invisible architecture that makes it possible. A house doesn't get built just because everyone in Australia agrees we need more homes. It gets built when the land, the infrastructure, utilities, and a whole bunch of other invisible stuff all of a sudden is incentivized to move faster. So when you fund the preconditions, not just the promise of more houses, you actually make it a reality that things could actually change. Number 5, sexy AI, boring admin. The glamour of AI is intelligence, but the actual value of AI may just be admin. And of course the budget example here is AI in environmental approvals and government systems. You know, the most useful AI in this budget isn't the futuristic sexy one, it's the boring one, helping people find information faster, processing approvals quicker. It's really about moving decisions through a complex system faster, and that always adds votes in the end, doesn't it? So here's the key leadership insight for you. Every organisation has its own version of this budget. Big goals, massive investments, new ideas, and none of that matters unless you can get people to move and take action on them. And that's what execution intelligence is all about. Now, if you want to go in deeper to this topic and really explore how numbers can actually move behavioural change, check out the article I've just written for the 5 key questions that leaders like yourself need to ask inside your organisations to move things faster. So I hope this video serves you well to go make tomorrow better than today.